Button's been pushed. Mike Lantz, Josh Hauser here with the Lucky 13 podcast, where we talk about all things people and profit. What do you want to talk about?
I don't know. I think we just reach into a bucket and find out what's going on. I literally, I want this to be as raw and real. I know we have some ideas of topics today, but raw and real. Let's open with something different. Have you ever heard of a company that just starts from scratch and just pivots and grinds its way all the way through, and then when it's all said and done, becomes one of the best Yorketing companies you've ever heard of? Shameless plug for some buddies.
This episode brought to you by Yorketing. Yorketing. And if you don't know what that is, it's your marketing.
I love it. Time to look them up. I love the fact that they had an idea, a vision, started on it, and they're starting to pivot. When you think about the swag you have, when I think about the shirt I have on, you have on, and you want to make it ease and make it look good, these guys get it. They get it all the way through. Not to mention they're pretty damn good at event planners. If you need an event plan, these guys got it.
Yeah.
So,
I all I wear is swag. It makes life easier. Like I go to the closet and I look it up and I just wear the same thing every day.
Same way at nights. It's just what color boa do I want to wear? No? Too early?
Yeah, that is too early. Tell me about your daughter's time down at Liberty University.
Oh, she
How's
just
it been
got
going?
home. She's loving it. She had hip surgery, so she's
I didn't know that.
there. So she had hip surgery. She's 3 months ahead of schedule, so she wasn't scheduled to be run until March, and she just ran a meet last week. So I'm excited for her there. But more importantly, man, Liberty University, there's a lot you can be said. There's a lot of things you can read on it. I'm bleeding. Isn't that amazing?
Sand fleas.
Sand fleas. But man, the culture there is something else.
Yeah.
I mean, if you go to Liberty, you went there for a reason. Like you can go to IU, and I love the diversity of IU and Purdue and those big schools. And Liberty's the largest online school in the country, and it's a big campus, beautiful campus. But I would say 90% of the kids are on a walk.
Yeah.
And just to watch, when you go in and you hear, let's just say 4,000 kids singing together, it goosebumps you. And that fits her to a T. So
yeah, I want to go down there sometime. I have so many friends that send their kids to school there.
Yeah,
like beautiful. It's like home away from Indiana.
Yeah, one of your friends is my daughter's roommate. Of course, can't think of her name right now, so this won't matter for later on in the series. We do not edit, so we're just going to go with Ashley.
This episode brought to you by Prevagen.
Ashley, why can't I think of her last name? Oh, my gosh. Yeah, are you making that I'm having memory issues?
We both do.
Huh?
We both do.
What are we talking about?
I know.
All right,
well, let's dive into this.
Yeah.
So we are, right before Christmas. So actually, this episode is going to come out after Christmas.
Yeah.
So did you have a good Christmas?
I sure hope so.
Well, if your wife has anything to do with it, it'll be
amazing.
A wonderful
It'll be amazing.
memory to. And so then when this episode comes out, we're going to be bumping up against the new year.
Come on.
Hard to believe, 2026.
I had this conversation with the company recently. We were building a 3-year plan, and they were like 3 years, seems like a long time. And I was like, I just want you to picture your 16th birthday. You weren't allowed to drive a car. Your 19th birthday, you were leaving the home to live on your own someplace. That's what 3 years are. So, I mean, just think about what's getting ready to happen over the next 2 weeks. It's going to fly. And then 2026, we're going to be sitting here a year from now thinking it was 2 months ago.
Yeah.
Talking about 2026.
Yeah, I want to go into something like on the VTO. There's this thing called a core focus, and I'll be honest with you, it's something that I wrestle with a little bit. Sometimes I don't love ours. So I thought this could be something that we could talk about a little bit because you being an EOS implementer, maybe this is an area that people running on EOS or those that aren't can dive into and refine this for 2026.
Yeah, I love it, and I think it starts with every company has an origin story. If there's a simple way to describe it, the origin. And so I'm going to give you 3 core questions. I'm going to give you one to start with, and I'll give you a couple to follow. But why did you start the business? Can you imagine just sitting down, but whether you're 10 years into the business, 10 months into the business, or you're on your 3rd generation, and just have a second say, why did we start this business? And just get really clear on the origin of the business. No different. We just talked about York, and they started for one reason, but they pivoted for the next 2 questions I'm going to ask here in a second. But what was the problem they were originally trying to solve, and what part of that story still energizes us today? I don't think enough teams take time and look at that every year just to make sure it's still on that path.
Those are 3 great questions.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing: as much as I might struggle with our team coming up with a compelling core focus, sometimes I mean it's good, but we changed some things up this year. These are 3 great questions to really ask, and I have the direct answers to those.
I love it.
And so, because I remember why I started this business.
And so when you work with companies, or if you're a business owner listening to this, I want you to listen to this statement I'm about to make, because this becomes so real when I work on annual planning that I see the core focus changes a little bit, and I have to go back to that origin story. Your core focus usually lies in your origin story, not your business plan. And so I think we get our core focus being about our business plan. The reality is your core focus is your origin story. The one I always like to use is Mary Kay and how her whole core focus was empowering women. Now, we think makeup and entrepreneur sales, but her core focus from day one was empowering women, and everything she did, she measured against that.
Yeah, let's jump back again. How does EOS define core focus?
Yeah, I would say it's what gives you energy. It is the simple thing that you measure everything against. If it's not helping that, why are you doing it?
Yeah, but it has elements to it, right?
There is. And so there's purpose, cause, passion. There's niches. So let's dive into a couple of those.
Let's do that.
Mind. So let's start with every company either has a purpose, a cause, or a passion. We have to decide what that is. And so first question you ask, why do we exist beyond making money? And then that starts to unlock what that means. So I think of a cause, forgive me, as a cause would be I want to save all the animals that are sitting in a cage right now that need to go to home. That's a cause. Maybe it's not about money, but that's bigger than a cause. So, bigger than purpose and passion. Yeah. It's a cause to change something in the framework of life.
Yeah.
A purpose and a passion oftentimes get combobulated. So I like using the definition of passion's about what sets me on fire. A purpose is what sets the world on fire.
Yeah. And so I think of Simon Sinek's books, Start With Why.
Yep.
This is the why of an organization,
Correct.
right? Why are we doing this? And very seldom does it have anything to do with the actual what you do.
It is. And when you forget your why, your what will change.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
When we forget why we're doing it, shiny things become shiny. When the reality is it's just a shiny thing that shouldn't be part of my life.
Yeah, back in my Defender days, we were a residential security company.
Oh.
So our mission was to make sure bad things didn't happen to good people.
Yeah.
But our why was we wanted to grow and develop leaders.
There it is.
And so we were a leadership development company veiled in the cloak of a security company.
Yeah, you had a product that allowed you to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. So
there is a question here I want to on this one.
Fire away.
What difference would we still care about even if our product changed? I love that one.
Come on. That is when your core focus is so clear, the product can change because it doesn't change what your focus is.
100%.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, back to those Defender days, like we sold Dish Network, we sold Fish at one point, we sold security, we sold HVAC and all of that, but our why was really the same.
And so I love this statement over here. When you forget your why, every opportunity looks good, even the wrong ones. And so that's that shiny thing conversation. That's why this has to be so tight, so clear, and it has to be prevalent in all decision making. This has to float up to the bubble forefront. I call it the goggles you put on when you go to make a big decision. Put on your core focus goggles and ask yourself, is that matching that, or is that just matching something that you want today?
Yeah. And I think, most organizations, a lot of organizations were started by a founder. Okay. And in many cases, like in my case, I was the only guy around for a year, right? And our purpose or our why has been very similar. Different. So we've refined the words and all of this. But the purpose in many cases comes out of the founder's origin story.
It's the origin story.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it's important to revisit that every year, especially my second, third gens or my merger acquisitions. Can we revisit your origin story right now to make sure we're still putting the right filter in? I think of mind modeling. I want to model my mind that when I go to make a decision, my filter is this core focus, and it doesn't get through if it doesn't match that core focus. If it doesn't fit, if it's square peg, round hole, it bounces off right away.
Yeah, and I would encourage founders, owners, to be a little stubborn when it comes to the purpose, right?
Oh, so good.
And I think the entire, the EOS process, vision building days and the strategic planning days and all of that needs to be really collaborative. But this is a piece here that I think founders have to be stubborn around.
That's a hard clarity break that you then have to come back and literally draw your line. It is a moment when you're saying, look, we don't go past this. This is our guardrails.
Yeah.
So when that happens, to your point, now we're clear on what our why is. Man, I love saying the terms, I don't go to work every day, I go to purpose every day. Can you imagine just having a group of people because your core focus is so clear? We purpose for life.
I've never heard you say that before.
Let's use it.
I'm not going to work every day. I'm going to my purpose every day.
I'm going to my purpose. And when you do, okay, now you have a niche that allows that purpose to blossom. Does that make sense? So let's talk about that niche, which is just how you do that, how you bring that purpose to the world. Does that make sense?
And I would even let me try. I mean,
I want to go back.
We don't just have founders and owners listen to this, but somebody that shows up as an employee of a company every single day can have as compelling of a purpose, because maybe
Absolutely.
their purpose is all about building their family, or it's all about building wealth, or it's all about, so I don't know. They can have their purpose and still show up and work for somebody else. Yes.
Can you imagine 220 days a year, at least 200 days a year, you said I purposed, and the other 20 I worked? Just think about that for a second. And it doesn't matter what role you're in. It doesn't, if you're a football player, if you're coming off the bench or walk on, or you're Mendoza, what's your purpose? And then just live that purpose, and people will be attracted to that and be around it. That's complete recharge mode all the time.
Yeah. So, great.
Here we go.
Oh, here we go. So we talked in the last episode about they're making a movie about Hoosier Nation.
I apologize, everybody.
But I remember back to Rudy. And you remember like Rudy would get up in the face of those linemen, and he would say his purpose was to show up every day.
Correct.
At football practice and make life hell on those players.
Because they faced Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
I mean, when he plays Purdue, I think when he said, because I'm not going to be as easy as the guy when we get to Purdue, so I got to get you ready.
Yeah, exactly. I love it. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So now we're into niche, right?
Let's niche. What do we do better than everyone else? Now, mind you, just because you do it, if it doesn't align to your purpose, doesn't mean you should do it.
Yeah.
Right? So that core focus ties that niche in. So I always like, what are you solving? What's specific? What's the pain or the opportunity that you're creating or solving for the world? Are you really clear on that? And is it defined in 1 to 2 sentences that everybody can get?
So whenever I've been in conversations with organizations around this piece, this question, what do we do better than anyone else, stumbles, it trips people. Because they're like, well, we do things really well, but we're an evolving organization, and I'm not sure we do this better than anyone else. We're striving for that. But like, what say you on that?
There's a quote that I'm struggling with right now, but because I love it. It's, if I live my life keeping options open, that's what I'll have, is a life full of options. And what that means is I've never actually set my own path. I've entered everything with 5 exit doors rather than this is the room I'm going to live in. We can tie it to religion, we can tie it to business, whatever. But when you make your path, great teams understand that they can't be great at everything. Let's figure out what we can be great at. I use football as this analogy. The academies. You ever watch an academy football game? Is it a big run and shoot, or is it lots of option offense, right? And that they know they can be great at that with what they have for what they get for time for all those academy cadets, and they just dive into it. There's no questions asked. So Peyton Manning's not going to play at Air Force Academy.
Yeah.
Doesn't fit.
Yeah.
And so even though Peyton's a great quarterback, or name a thought, we need this type of person. And so once you just find that, it makes it so much easier to make those decisions.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that helps you. That options thing, I'd love to. We could have a whole episode on that.
Well, I think my question was, and I don't want to belabor a point, it's the part of best in the world, like than anyone else. Because the question is, what do we do better than anyone else?
Yeah.
And that I can, a company might say, we're awesome at this and we're going to keep doing that, but it's the best in the world part.
I love
it. We're not best in the world yet. But
we have a friend, Jason Manship. You know Jason?
I know Jason.
So I went over to his place, Moonshot. Encourage anybody to go over there. Really cool games and all this stuff. But at one point, he was in comic books and he was in this and there's that. And he dialed in that we can be the best in the world at Pokemon cards. And just has gone all in. And they have blossomed. They've taken off because of that. Now, they have some ancillary things. But if you ask where their core focus is on that, it's right there.
Yeah.
Locks in.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So
it's really about what specific problem do you solve? Who do you do it for, and what's your proven process?
Yeah, is it rinse and repeatable?
Yeah.
Is it scalable?
Yeah.
Absolutely. So can't be great to everyone. Define your lane, and then go own it.
Yeah.
Own that lane. Be the one. E.F. Hutton, when you talk, people listen. Young folks won't have any idea what that means.
Yeah.
Do you remember that commercial?
I do.
Okay, thank God. All right, so can we take this and combine it into just a simple statement? That I call them eyelid tattoos. We've talked about that. That just every time I have something that comes up, I pull that eyelid tattoo up. I use that as my filter, and then we go from there. So, So the formula would be, what's your purpose, cause, and passion? So we make our purpose statement plus our niche equals our core focus. So what's that purpose? I'll give you an example. I'll give you the EOS example. Helping entrepreneurs live a life they love through simple, proven business systems. Do you hear the two separates? The first half is, let's help entrepreneurs live the life they love. The niche that we have is, we can do it through simple, proven business systems. That's what we do. That's our lane. Does that make sense to you from an EOS side?
Yeah.
When you revisit that, sometimes you'll look and you'll find these long-winded, and it's got the ands and the ors and about 45 things. How do we narrow that down? Simple is, what is it? We talked about this last episode. Easy is complex, hard is simple.
Yeah.
So do the hard work and get that squished down so it's simple for everybody to know and your filter's clean.
Yeah. So I'm gonna mesh this in with StoryBrand. You know, Don Miller. We've talked about StoryBrand.
I love StoryBrand.
And he has this thing called Brand Script, and he teaches you got to develop a one-liner, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, our one-liner is, what if you were to say, well, what do you do? I would say, in my 30 years of business experience, what I've learned is the number one reason business owners don't achieve their goals is because of people problems. I solve that.
Oh, so good.
And I've never thought about it as this combination of the purpose and the cause and the passion and all of that. But I think what's dynamic about this is you're identifying what the problem is that you solve for people. I could just say, if you said, what do you do? I could just say, I own an HR consulting company. What difference is that? I hate that.
Blend it in. Yeah.
I own an HR consulting company. That doesn't tell me what problem you solve.
Yeah, that's noise.
Yeah.
Your first statement gave me signals.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I think I've been really studying noise and signals like crazy here recently. I think that statement that you make has to be a signal. If it's just noise, you might as well just sell cheeseburgers and competing with Steak and Shake and Five Guys and everybody else. What's your signal?
Yeah, and I think also we're not talking about this relative to business development, but if you're actually talking to somebody, by identifying the problem that you solve, if they have that problem, they're going to go, say what?
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk about that, right?
That's why I named our company Reach, Teach, Eliminate. That's my purpose.
Oh, yeah.
So clean. Reach, Teach, Eliminate. And then my niche is I do that through joy, humor, and success.
Yeah.
I find that you can be joyous and humorous and then find some processes for success. Love it, love it, love it.
I love this statement. If it doesn't fit your core focus, it's a distraction dressed as an opportunity.
Come on, call it out.
Yeah.
When you get this clear, can you imagine saying that? Guys, I think we have an opportunity dressed as something else. It's really not real. Just get it out of the room.
Yeah. Okay, pressure test a core focus. Talk to me about that.
Yeah, so these are the questions to make sure it's real. So I'm just going to read these 4 questions and I think these speak for themselves, but I'm anxious to hear what your feedback is. 1, does it excite and energize us? I mean, when you hear that, you're like, yes, that's where I want to be a part of, or no, I don't want to be a part of that. Either way is a great answer. Can we commit to it for 10 years? That's a hard one. Is this just it's just for now because it's hot, and 2 years from now, it's not going to exist anymore?
Yeah.
Be careful as a founder when you think about that. Does it help? I love this question. Does it help us say no? And I'm going to add the word faster. Does it help us say no to the wrong opportunities? If your core focus doesn't filter your yes and no's, it's not a core focus.
Yeah.
It's just it's a catchy statement.
Yeah.
And then last is, does it give the team clarity on what to pursue and what to ignore? Can you imagine laying your core focus and that statement out there, that purpose and niche statement, and then putting suggestions to your team and ask them, is it a yes or no based off this?
Yeah, well, if you use the core focus that I just gave or that I just read off, if somebody showed up and said, hey, we should develop software that helps with financial planning.
Yeah.
Well, that's not what we do.
No.
Like,
but there's a big market for it.
Okay.
And I know a guy.
Yeah.
And what you have right now, the infrastructure, we could do that so easy. I hear that, but I hear in team meetings, let's stand up another vertical. And as soon as I hear that, I go back to this statement. Is that vertical in support of this? Because if it's not, create a different purpose and a different niche over there.
Yeah.
That's a separate company.
Yeah.
Don't mix and match. It'd be McDonald's serving pizzas. Those are 2 different things. That's not what they do.
Yeah.
Or Disney, what do they help people? I think their core focus is make people happy.
Yeah.
No, let's create some scary rides. That doesn't make people happy.
I don't know. Space Mountain, dude. I
That's
mean,
not scary. But think about it. I remember reading something about their haunted mansion.
Yeah.
It's actually, I think it's on Disney Channel when they built it. They were really worried about the haunted mansion not making people happy. So they had to have a little bit of the spook in there, but enough of the joy that when people came out, they weren't freaked out.
Yeah.
Just think about that intentionality going, when they get done with this ride, will they be happy or not?
Yeah.
That's why their thrill rides aren't the same as going to some other places.
Yeah.
Because they don't want people to, tinkle their pants a little bit.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay. Then step 6. So we're, revisiting your origin story. Then you're defining your purpose, cause, and passion. You're identifying your niche. Then you're combining those into a single statement. Embraced by all, memorized by all, the whole thing. Pressure test. Does it excite us, energizes? Can we commit for 10 years? Does it help us say no to the wrong opportunities? Does it give the team clarity about what to pursue? And then step 6 is what? Revisit your origin story?
You're doing it again, but now we're putting it into action. So now we're going to look at it and say, is every new idea every hire and every opportunity run through this filter now. If not, it's just, I see it all the time. It's just stuff on the wall.
Yeah.
It's on the website. They write it on the truck. And I ask hey, we got an opportunity, run it through the filter. And I love that we didn't read this ahead of time together, which I love, but they use the word filter. Your core focus becomes your filter. And it just helps you get to the don't fit so much faster.
Yeah.
It really does. Sense. So does this fit our core focus? What a simple question to ask. We got an opportunity to buy XYZ company. Does it fit our core focus?
Yeah.
No. It'd be a different vertical. Okay, if you're going to buy them, that's great.
Something
Separate
else.
It. It's got to be something else.
And then what's it going to cost you in your core?
Yeah.
You know?
And I love that the quote that they put here is, discipline is saying no to good ideas that don't fit.
Yeah.
Your core focus gives you that permission slip that, you know what, that's not serving me. Somebody said, if it's not serving me, I got to stop doing that.
Yeah.
And I absolutely love that.
Awesome. Well, Josh, I will tell you, I think it's been about 2 years. I think it was over Christmas break a couple years ago when I reached out and I said, let's do a podcast.
Yeah.
And selfishly, it was so that we could spend a couple hours together every other week. But it's just been as we wrap up 2025, it's been a joy to do this with you.
You're trying to make me cry, aren't you?
No, not at all. I'm not. But it's just been something that I look forward to. So let's keep it up. Are you signing up for 2026?
I tell everybody, I go to my podcast so they can come up with ideas to take back to my room because Mike Lantz fills me up with new ideas. So
awesome.
I appreciate you, brother.
Yep. Have a great holiday,
and you.
Christmas, New Year's. See you next year.
Go Hoosiers.